Life on Fortuna 3 can be hard, but with my top 10 tips, I'm going to get you started as a beginner in the Cycle Frontier. For those of you that don't know me yet, my name is Jordan. It's nice to meet you, but without further ado, let's get straight into it. Tip number 1, open your map before you get out of the dropship. I've heard a lot of people complaining about getting killed right after they get out of the dropship, so tip 1 should help you with this. The second it starts loading you into the match, you can press G to open up your objectives, then close your objectives, then try and open up your map again, and it should open and show you where your extractions are so you can start planning your escape. Since closed beta 1, they have drastically reduced the sound that comes from your own breathing in the game. While this is great that you don't have to listen to your own loud breath and can listen out for other people, what I think most people aren't realizing is that your own breath sounds are still very loud to other players. And without the audio feedback to let you know that you're making a lot of noise, some people are being hunted down very easily by people who can hear them from miles away because of their loud breathing due to their low stamina. So tip number 2 is leave on your own breathing sounds, or just be aware that below about a quarter of stamina health, you're going to be breathing very loudly and will be very audible to other players. Tip number 3 actually started out as a joke when I was watching Flotsam's Twitch stream. I noticed that he was keeping all of his old currency in his safe pockets. Now, while this seems kind of crazy, it's actually a really great idea because things like old currency, scripts, and even keycards are either 0 weight or only 0.1 weight, which means that storing them in your safe pockets is a great idea since your safe pockets are limited by weight and not by amount of items. Another great way to save on stash space is by making sure all of your guns are stocked up with attachments so that those attachments don't take up space in your stash. So I guess we can call tip number 3 maximizing your stash space. Speaking of maximizing space, let's say you just killed a prospector down on Fortuna 3, and you don't have enough space for their weapons in your backpack. What are you gonna do? Well, I think the best option is to strip all their guns of useful attachments. So I'm talking greens and above. White attachments can be bought back in the station and are not worth filling up your backpack with. To get attachments off of somebody else's weapon, you either need to put it into your inventory, or you can switch out one of your weapons for it, take the attachments off, and then pick your gun back up. So, tip number 4 is fill up on attachments, not guns. Another thing that you shouldn't be picking up is special ammo. A lot of times people are finding special ammo in ammo crates or various other containers. Don't pick it up. There's only one gun that uses it, and it's going to be a while until you get it since it's one of the legendary weapons that costs about 900,000. So, tip number 5 is leave the special ammo alone. Although there are definitely some prospectors which will rather shoot than talk to you, I think it's a very fun part of the game and a very interesting part of the game when it comes to negotiations and working together. So, my tip number 6 is to turn VoIP on and try and have some fun talking to people. You never know who you're going to meet on Fortuna 3, and they just might end up becoming one of your friends. If you're having trouble surviving on Fortuna 3, don't be afraid to craft better stims. You can start crafting them before you ever unlock them from the Osiris campaign. And honestly, the materials are pretty common and not that expensive. The difference between a white stim and a green stim is really big. Tip number 7 is don't skimp, get the green stims. Tip number 8 is one of the new features that they added since closed beta 1, which is a sorting system on your inventory, which I don't know if everyone has noticed yet, but you can press X while you're in your stash and it will sort things by rarity, type, or even alphabetically. This can be really helpful to make sure that you're finding the right things that you need so that you're prepared for an awesome expedition down on Fortuna 3. Now my last tip goes out to all those out there that are feeling a little bit down on their luck. Maybe you haven't survived that many raids, maybe you're running out of K-marks, maybe you have nothing left and you're just sitting there waiting for your new daily crate to come in. Well, if you have at least 600 K-marks in the bank, grab a bag and go out and try and do a naked run. Honestly, some of my favorite runs are when I just hop down onto the planet with nothing but a backpack and I just go out and explore. And let me tell you, the loot that you find when you didn't bring anything in feels so much better than the loot that you find when you come in fully geared killing a bunch of people. In fact, the video that you've been seeing in the background of this video is actually from a naked run that I just did during one of my live streams that I've been doing on Twitch recently. If you haven't already, definitely go over and check me out on one of my live streams. I'd love to hang out and maybe even go down onto Fortuna together. If you found any of this information useful, then definitely consider subscribing.
Hey brother, do you mind if I hop on that evac with you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. There's a lot of Jeffs around here. Jeez.
Yeah.
How's you guys' day going so far?
All good, man. All good.
A little bit intense. Woo! Ooh boy. My butt hurts a little bit. Oh my gosh! And, well, there you go. You make some friends and you leave. You know, it's good times.